Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. Every person you've sat next to, every room you've walked into, every conversation you've had, your heart was broadcasting into that space. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to choose what it broadcasts. Most people treat emotions as reactions. Something happens, you feel something about it. Cause and effect. But the research coming out of the HeartMath Institute over the past 3 decades tells a different story. Your heart's rhythm, the pattern between each beat, changes depending on your emotional state. Frustration produces a jagged, chaotic signal. Gratitude produces something else entirely, a smooth sine wave-like pattern called coherence. That coherent signal travels. Think about the last time you walked into a room and immediately felt the tension. Nobody said a word. The air itself felt heavy. You picked up on something real. The electromagnetic field generated by the human heart is roughly 60 times greater in amplitude than the one generated by the brain. It can be measured several feet away with sensitive instruments. When your heart is in a coherent rhythm, that field carries an organized signal. When it's chaotic, the field carries noise. Here's where this gets practical. Researchers at HeartMath found that when one person enters a state of heart coherence, through sustained feelings of appreciation, care, or compassion, their heart rhythm can actually synchronize with the brainwaves of another person sitting nearby. Your heart's coherent signal doesn't stay inside you. It becomes part of the electromagnetic environment around you. So what generates coherence? A specific quality of emotion. Shallow positive thinking doesn't produce it. Saying, "I'm grateful," while your chest is tight with worry creates nothing measurable. The coherent pattern emerges when you genuinely access the feeling, when appreciation or compassion becomes a sustained state in your body, held for minutes at a time. This is the inner work most people skip. They want the result without the discipline of actually generating the emotion from within, independent of circumstances. Your body runs on electrical signals. Every cell membrane carries a voltage. Your heart's electrical activity is strong enough to be detected in every cell of your body. When that electrical activity is coherent, something shifts at the cellular level. Heart coherence correlates with improved immune function, better hormonal balance, and enhanced cognitive performance. Your external world starts changing because you start changing. You make different decisions, you notice different opportunities, you carry a different presence into every interaction. Consider what happens in a job interview. 2 candidates with identical resumes walk in. One spent the morning in frustration, rushing, anxious. Their heart rhythm is sending a chaotic electromagnetic signal. The other spent 10 minutes before the interview in genuine coherence, breathing slowly, accessing a real memory of deep appreciation until the feeling became self-sustaining. Their signal is organized, calm, powerful. The interviewer can't name what they're sensing. They call it presence or confidence. They're detecting a coherent electromagnetic field. But generating coherence for 10 minutes before a big moment barely scratches the surface. The real transformation happens when coherence becomes your baseline state. Neville Goddard taught that feeling is the secret, that the sustained emotional state you carry determines what manifests in your experience. He described this decades before the electromagnetic research confirmed a mechanism. The feeling you maintain isn't just a psychological preference, it's a measurable broadcast. This is where most people hit a wall. Sustaining coherence is hard. Your habitual emotional patterns have years of momentum behind them. You sit down to practice gratitude, and within 90 seconds, your mind drags you back to the unpaid bill, the unresolved argument, the fear about next month. That pull is strong. The practice asks you to notice the pull and return to the feeling anyway, again and again. Each return builds the neural and cardiac pathways that make coherence easier to access and longer to sustain. Florence Scovel Shinn described this as speaking the word, holding an inner state with such conviction that reality reorganizes around it. The language is spiritual. The mechanism is electromagnetic. Your heart's coherent field influences the nervous systems of people around you. Their bodies respond to your signal before their conscious minds process a single word you've said. You've experienced this with people who make you feel instantly at ease. You relax in their presence. Your own heart rhythm starts to entrain with theirs. They didn't convince you of anything. Their field shifted yours. Now scale this up. The Global Coherence Initiative, a research project using magnetometers placed around the Earth, has been tracking correlations between large-scale human emotional events and fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field. When millions of people experience strong collective emotions, the planetary field responds. The data is still being gathered and analyzed, but the direction is consistent. Coherent human emotion and geomagnetic activity appear to be in conversation. Some will push back here. Electromagnetic fields from the heart are extremely weak compared to other sources. How could they meaningfully influence anything? Fair question. The answer lies in coherence itself. A laser and a light bulb can use the same amount of energy. The laser cuts through steel. The difference is coherence. Every photon aligned in the same phase, the same direction, the same frequency. A chaotic heart signal is the light bulb. A coherent one is the laser. The power comes from the organization of the signal, not its raw amplitude. This reframes everything about spiritual practice. When Goddard said, to live in the end, to feel the reality of your desire as if it's already present, he was prescribing a coherence practice. The feeling of having what you want held with genuine emotional depth produces a specific cardiac rhythm. That rhythm generates an organized electromagnetic field. That field influences your own biology, your decision-making, your presence, and the nervous systems of every person within range. The discipline is in the gap between knowing this and living it. You'll forget. You'll spend entire days in reactive chaos and only notice at midnight, when you're lying in bed wondering why everything felt so hard. That's normal. The practice isn't perfection. The practice is noticing the chaos sooner each time and choosing coherence one breath earlier than you did yesterday. Over weeks and months, your recovery time shortens. The coherent state becomes more familiar to your body than the chaotic one. Try this tonight. Place your hand on your chest. Slow your breathing to about 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Now access a memory, a specific one, where you felt genuine gratitude. The moment you woke up and realized the crisis had passed. The friend who showed up when nobody asked them to. Stay in that feeling. Feel it radiate from under your hand. The warmth is real. The rhythm change is measurable. The field you're generating right now is reaching into the room around you. You've been doing this your entire life without knowing it. Every mood you've carried into a room, every emotional state you've held during a conversation, every feeling you fell asleep with, all of it was broadcasting. The only question now is whether you'll broadcast by default or by design. The research says your heart is talking to every room you enter. Goddard said your feeling is creating tomorrow's circumstances. They're both describing the same phenomenon from different ends of the telescope. One measures the field, the other teaches you what to do with it. Your practice starts with 6 breaths, 12 seconds each. One memory that makes your chest feel warm. Hold it until the feeling sustains itself. That's your broadcast. That's your influence on the space around you. Measurable, reproducible, and entirely in your hands. The signal is already going out. It went out this morning, and yesterday, and every day you can remember. Starting now, you get to choose what it carries.